Before he commanded armies, before he carried the hopes of the free world, he was just a boy in Abilene, Kansas. Dwight David Eisenhower grew up in a modest home, surrounded by faith, discipline, and the quiet strength of Midwestern values. His family didn't have wealth. They had character. Responsibility was not optional. Hard work was not negotiable. Young Ike was competitive, tough, and fiercely determined. Football was his passion. He played with intensity until a devastating knee injury shattered his dream of athletic glory. For many young men, that would have been the end of ambition. For Eisenhower, it was the beginning of resilience. He learned something crucial. Greatness is not about avoiding failure. It's about mastering it. That small-town humility, that refusal to blame others, that calm acceptance of reality. Those traits would one day steady him when the world stood on the edge of collapse. America didn't yet know his name, but history was already shaping him. In 1911, Eisenhower entered West Point. He wasn't the top scholar. He wasn't the loudest voice in the room, but classmates gravitated toward him. He built friendships. He built trust. Then World War I erupted. Young officers rushed to Europe to chase glory in the trenches. Eisenhower wanted to go. He begged for deployment. Instead, he was assigned to train tank units in the United States. No battlefield, no medals, no headlines. For a soldier hungry to prove himself, it was crushing. But while others fought in mud-filled trenches, Eisenhower studied the machinery of modern war. He mastered logistics. He organized thousands of men. He coordinated supply chains, training schedules, and industrial production. He discovered something vital. Modern war would not be won by heroics alone. It would be won by coordination. He did not earn fame in World War I. He earned preparation, and preparation would make him indispensable. Between the wars, Eisenhower served under powerful figures, including Douglas MacArthur. MacArthur was dramatic, charismatic, commanding. Eisenhower observed everything. He saw how a strong personality could inspire a nation, but also divide allies. He learned that ego could be as dangerous as the enemy. Instead of imitating brilliance, Eisenhower refined steadiness. He read military history obsessively. He studied coalition warfare. He understood that if another global war erupted, America would not fight alone. He quietly developed the rare ability to manage strong personalities without becoming one himself. He was not flashy. He was not theatrical. But he was trusted. And in the chaos of global war, trust would become his greatest asset. After Pearl Harbor, America entered World War II with urgency and uncertainty. Eisenhower's name began circulating in Washington. His strategic clarity impressed senior leaders. In 1942, he was appointed commander of Operation Torch, the Allied invasion of North Africa. It was a massive gamble. American troops were inexperienced. German forces were battle-hardened. Failure would damage America's credibility. But Eisenhower did something remarkable. He unified British and American forces under a single vision. He balanced the demands of Winston Churchill and the strategic realities of the battlefield. Operation Torch succeeded. Soon after, Eisenhower was appointed Supreme Allied Commander in Europe. He wasn't chosen because he was the boldest general. He was chosen because he could hold an alliance together. And the greatest test was still ahead. June 1944. The largest amphibious invasion in human history stood ready. Over 150,000 Allied troops prepared to cross the English Channel and storm the beaches of Normandy. The operation depended on weather, secrecy, and timing. Then the storm came. High winds, rough seas, thick clouds. Generals debated. Meteorologists hesitated. The risks multiplied by the hour. If the invasion failed, tens of thousands could die. If it failed, Hitler's grip on Europe would strengthen. If it failed, the war could drag on for years. In a small room filled with tension, all eyes turned to Eisenhower. He paused. He weighed the forecasts. He considered the intelligence. He understood the cost. Then he spoke. "We go." It was the most important military decision of the 20th century. Before the landings began, Eisenhower wrote a note accepting full responsibility if the invasion failed. No excuses. No blame. On June 6, 1944, D-Day, Allied forces stormed Normandy. The beaches ran red. The casualties were devastating. But the line held, and Europe's liberation had begun. Victory in Normandy did not mean unity in command. Strong personalities clashed. George S. Patton pushed for aggressive, rapid advances. Bernard Montgomery favored concentrated, methodical assaults. Tensions rose. National pride flared. Eisenhower stood at the center of the storm. He had to balance ambition with realism, speed with sustainability, ego with cooperation. He absorbed criticism quietly. He negotiated firmly. He refused to let rivalry fracture the mission. While tanks advanced across France, Eisenhower fought another battle, preserving Allied unity. Without that unity, the war in Europe could have stalled. December 1944. Hitler launched a surprise counteroffensive through the Ardennes forest. Snow blanketed the battlefield. Communication lines fractured. Allied forces were caught off guard. It was the largest battle fought by the United States in World War II. Panic could have spread. But Eisenhower remained steady. He reorganized command structures. He redirected reinforcements. He empowered his generals to respond decisively. The German offensive faltered. The Bulge was crushed. In crisis, Eisenhower proved that leadership is not about noise. It is about clarity under pressure. May 1945. Nazi Germany surrendered. Church bells rang across Europe. Crowds filled the streets. But Eisenhower did not celebrate immediately. He visited liberated concentration camps. What he saw changed him forever. He ordered photographs, documentation, and witness testimony. He understood something profound. The world must never forget. Victory was not just military. It was moral. And leadership required bearing witness to both triumph and tragedy. In 1952, Americans elected Eisenhower as president. He brought battlefield calm into the White House. During the Cold War, he avoided direct superpower conflict while strengthening deterrence. He ended the Korean War. He launched the interstate highway system, transforming America's infrastructure forever. He warned the nation about the rise of the military-industrial complex, a powerful and prophetic caution. The general who commanded armies now commanded a nation. And he did so with the same steadiness that defined him in war. Eisenhower was not the loudest voice in history. He was the steady one. He proved that leadership is not about ego. It is about responsibility. It is about unity. It is about courage, especially when the decision is yours alone. From Kansas fields to the beaches of Normandy, from Supreme Commander to President, Dwight D. Eisenhower shaped the course of the 20th century. And in moments when the world trembled, he did not